So, just for our listener, what we're talking about is property management, and that is our subject today. Chandler and I work at Sid Was Here. We're both wearing our Sid Was Here shirts because we have appointments later today, and we're really proud of what we're doing. And Chandler, I don't think we talk about it enough. And today we're going to talk property management and why we're proud of it.
Yeah, no, I think it's good for people to hear about like why you should choose property management over like managing yourself. I think it's kind of you set your goals of what you want to do, and I think people underestimate property management too. Like they're like, oh, I can get a tenant in there and manage it myself to save 10% on a long term or 20% on a short term rental, but they underestimate the actual work that goes into it. Because we always get people that come to us and they're like, "I'm tired. I get it. Please take it."
Every
So yeah,
day. Well,
um,
and I'm an investor, right? I own around 100 doors myself. I pay Sid Was Here to manage my properties. I can't do it all by myself. I don't even want to.
yeah,
And so, I'm like you, I talk to investors every day, and a lot of people look at property management as an expense and it's costing me money, things like that. But what we want to say today is number one, you're always welcome to manage yourselves. You don't have to use Sid Was Here or any other service. But what we want to present today is the case for property management, why it's actually not an expense, why we as professionals managing your property is more of an asset to you than an expense. And once you get your head around that and realize, really what a property manager brings to the table, you start to go, wow, I get it. I see the value. So Chandler and I are going to be very one-sided in our argument. We're going to argue the case for property management over self-management. What do you think, Chandler? You think we have a
yeah.
good
I think I think we have a pretty good argument behind it. If you want to come on and argue with us,
right?
feel free. But I think we have a pretty good argument.
We would love that. Actually, I live for debate. I love counter
Honestly,
points.
I
So,
always watch debates and I'm like, dang, I want to debate that guy because I think I would kill him.
yep,
So I don't mind a debate either.
me either. Well, and I'm just going to speak from my own experience, and this is the God's honest truth. I self-managed and I made it to four. And then that's when I started Sit Was Here. And I haven't looked back since. I have been so thankful to have property management since then. So if you have one or two, okay, maybe, but I still think there's a case for property management, whether you have one, 10, or 110, there is always a case for property management. And the first thing I want to bring up today is that you, as the investor, your time is valuable, right? You can't just say, oh, my time's not valuable. I can spend it talking to tenants and finding vendors. No, your time is valuable. You most likely have a W 2. And I spoke to a client recently that was calling me about property management. I'm not their agent, but he needed a property manager. And he said, like you said, Chandler, he said, I'm just so tired. And he said, we love Savannah. We love the market. We want to buy more, but we're bogged down in the property management. Well, he's wasting his time managing his property and not buying other properties. Have
Mhm.
we heard a little bit about that, Chandler? Where is the money actually made when you're investing in real estate?
So the money is actually made in appreciation, and that is in my opinion. Cash flow is always great, and of course you want to cash flow, but it's nothing. It's probably triple, quadruple compared to what you're going to make in cash flow over the years. And so, in my argument is I'm an appreciation guy, and I'm willing to give up a little bit of cash flow to get some time back because that's essentially what you get. You get time back to go and focus on buying another property. To whereas like if you're spending, let's say you're spending 10 minutes on property management stuff, getting a tenant, that's 10 minutes away from you getting like a phone call and a yes on a house. Like that 10 minutes is very costly. And like if you start thinking about it like that, like, all right, I spent an hour in property management today. Imagine what that hour would do if you spent it on buying real estate. And I guarantee you would have way more properties if you just kind of spent your time elsewhere and let us handle all the management side.
Yeah, Chandler and I had the pleasure of spending 3 days with the amazing Pace Morby, who we are both big fans. And he has an amazing portfolio. Pace Morby does not manage for himself. And he told us in 6 years, he showed one property. He said, this property has made $56,000 in cash flow with property management in place. 56,000, which is great. He'd made over 400,000 in appreciation. So 4x on his money, 4x on the cash flow was in appreciation, and he can now sell that property. He can cash out refi. He can borrow against that appreciation, but he can't necessarily do that with the 56,000 in cash flow. So that's under 10,000 a year in cash flow. It's something, but it's been no work for him. He literally bought it, handed it to a property manager, and focused his time on buying more properties. If you know Pays Morby, he does not have 2 rentals. He has 2,000 rentals, most likely. I don't know. It's a very large portfolio.
300 million.
Right. He bought 50 million in properties last year. Just in 2023 alone, he bought $50 million worth of real estate. He was not thinking about sending a plumber to unit one. Okay. He was focused on acquisition, and that is why this guy is very wealthy. He passed it off on to professionals. When you deal with a property management company, you get a lot of systems with that. Okay. They're way more efficient than you're going to be. They already know the game. Let's take short-term rentals. Most people have never even heard of half of the sites that Sid Was Here is posting properties on. Why? Because we're professionals. I've been in this industry for 10 years. I'm educated. I go to tons of conferences. I know what an OTA is. I know what all these things are. And I'm sending these properties to these last minute websites, all kind of websites that most people don't exist. Google, did you know Google does vacation rentals? They do. Our properties are on there. So our owners are getting the benefit of even more visibility on the web because they're not just on Airbnb, they're not just on VRBO, they're on multiple property management websites that you've never heard of that our software pays for. And it is nothing for us to advertise you to all 10 sites simultaneously. It's no extra work because we're very good at what we do and we're very efficient. So visibility, number one. Let's talk about long-term rentals. Speaking of visibility, you hand us a long-term rental to manage, we are not posting it just on Zillow. And that's what a lot of people that are self-managing are doing. They're like, oh, I can post a rental on Zillow as, Joe Schmo investor. And they do. I'm a licensed real estate agent. My brokerage is now Remax. We have a huge reach. So the second we put that long-term rental into our system, it's not just on Zillow. It's on, again, 20 websites you've never heard of. We have instant credibility on all these sites because of our brokerage name, because of our name. And it's really not a big deal to show properties. Why? Because we have these efficiencies. So, this is a big reason you want to have a professional on your side. They're going to be more efficient. They know the game better, and they're going to have way more visibility for your project.
Yeah, no doubt. That's one big thing. And one big thing that I kind of notice is the vacancy side of things. And I've heard some people call vacancy like the silent killer of cash flow because vacancies can absolutely kill you. And so that's like one thing that I see is they're not able to move as fast because like you're managing your own. So you're trying to do your W-2, and then from 5 to 9, you're trying to manage yourself, and then you're trying to understand it. You're like, how do I get these people in? Some people are out of state. And so like vacancy is like, we can get somebody in a property so much faster than you can. And like 3 months of vacancy kills your entire year cash flow. Like it does. And so that just offsets to 10% on your long-term management if you would just use us. And vacancy is another thing that you got to think about when going with a management company.
I have a great story on that. As an agent, I handed this client a fully furnished medium-term rental in Savannah. And I said, this is for sale. It's on the market. They bought it. It's a great purchase. They bought it, I think, in March, and we're now in June, and it's nowhere close to done. So at Sid Was Here, not only do we manage, and not only can we help you buy a property, we can help you rehab it, we can help you furnish it, we can help you refurnish it, which is what this needed. It needed a little zhuzhing, I get it, but we're very efficient and fast. Chandler, how long does it take you to get a property photographed? If I hand you a property today, which I will do later today, how quick are you going to have a photographer out there? How quick can we have it listed?
Um,
How quick can you get it a handyman out there?
so like for example, today's a Monday, so I can probably get a photographer out there either tomorrow or Wednesday, and
Right.
photographer has photos back the day after. So it's 2 days maybe, like that's the most.
That means
So
you have it listed in 2 days. From me handing Chandler the property to it being live, it's listed within 2 days. What if we have a maintenance request? What if we have, something major? How long does it take you to get someone in there?
um that's like a day. Like we try to a
Yeah.
day or two. Like maintenance requests are like very important to us. So like
Right.
we're calling people until that can get in there that day.
Exactly. Within a few hours, we're going to have something handled. So
Yeah.
we're handed a house. Let's say it needs decor, maybe a week. If we need to just judge, what's your
Mhm.
call on that?
It's so funny. It's a good story because some will try. So like for example, I have a good story behind this. Like we had a decorator come into a property, but the owner wanted to do the outside decor, and we had that inside decor like done in 3 days.
Yep.
And
And
he was still working, trying to call other people that he knew in the area and call people and get this done. And it took him like a month. And I was like, if you would have just paid us a little bit more to get
right.
this, like that would have been done in 4 days probably. And he could have had his house listed. So we were kind of like, the house was done, but we were waiting on him because he wanted to save a little bit of money.
You can save money.
Yeah, save money when he could have had 6 bookings before. And so that was it. Was funny though. What's a great thing is he kind of started learning. He's like, oh, these guys get things done pretty quickly. So let me just call them to get it done. He did learn that and eventually was like, hey, can you get this done for me? And I was like, absolutely. And it would be done pretty quickly. So he learned his lesson and I'm glad he did. But that's just another lesson that you need to take account for when doing stuff like that.
Well, and as your potential property manager, we don't make money until you, the owner, makes money, right? So we don't want to sit on a house for 6 months either. We really don't. We want to get in, we want to get out, we want it listed, we want it rented because that is when we start to make money. Until then, it's just a loss for us. It's a loss for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And we understand that. But the quicker you are in your speed of getting that property purchased and then listed, the quicker you are to cash flow. So I have a client who didn't listen to me. They're from the great state of California and they know everything. And I handed them the work people. I said, here, call these guys. And they said, no, I'm going to save money. I don't want to pay Julie's guy to supervise. That was purchased, I think, January, and it is June, and it is still not rented. It's not even ready to be rented
Hard.
because they wanted to save 10% or whatever it was that my guy was going to mark it up. It wasn't much. I'm telling you, it was a very fair, but as part of that 10%, our guys are going to supervise the job. They're going to make sure it's done right. They're not going to let you pay until it's done right. And they're going to get them going quicker. Go, go, go. So I hate it. Like you said, this guy has made no cash flow. He's on hard money. He's paying holding costs. Like we're efficient, we're fast, and we want to see that property rented so that we can make a little bit right along with you.
Yeah, velocity. I like when they say velocity is very important with money as well. Like when you're sitting on stuff and holding stuff, like you're losing money, and it's easier just to spend more and get that velocity of things uh, than just sitting on it and trying to do it yourself. So try delegating. Delegating is a good thing.
Someone that's also motivated to get it done quickly. And we're talking a little bit more, 10 to 15% more, not 80% more, spend this much more to get it done quickly. You don't have to do that. We're a local company. We have local resources and we're very fast. Speaking of speed, I want to tell this story. Chandler, Friday, I was in the ER with my mother. I told you I need a new employee for this one house. How quick did I find that employee?
That was really fast. What was it? Half a day, maybe?
The same day. I had so
Yeah.
many applicants for that position. And I've talked to so many out of state owners, and the stress is when someone quits on them it's such a heavy lift to find a new person. They aren't from here. They don't live here. They don't have connections, da da da. Guess what? I live here. I work here. I've been here forever. And I used my connections and the right ad and found someone phenomenal to fill that position. And not only are they phenomenal, they're a known entity. The one I chose, I had 6 applicants. The one I chose was someone who's known, liked, and trusted by someone that I know, like, and trust. It's one of our other employees. And these guys, we all love each other. We all support each other. And when this new employee calls the employee that referred her to back her up, the other employee is going to be like, of course, I'm happy to give you a backup. Like, we work as a team so well. Like, we have those efficiencies of hiring. I used to manage a hotel in Wisconsin that I own, and I was really proud of it, but it was, man, it was a nightmare. When I had to find a new vendor, it was such a nightmare. I can't even tell you. And now that I've learned to stay in my own market, in my own lane, it's no big deal to hire employees.
Yeah, no doubt. And another thing I want to like kind of say is like remember why you're getting into real estate. Real estate is a way to create freedom. And if you're trying to manage these properties, I promise you that is not the way to create freedom. Like you're not going to. All you are creating is another job for yourself. So remember that while you're getting into real estate. I know for me, it's not to go manage properties. And so I will gladly delegate uh, that time to someone else, and that's better than me. Actually, I think I'm pretty good at property management, so I might um, stick with it. But
Yes,
remember why you're in real estate and don't create another job for you. So,
right. Let's talk cleaning, Chandler. I've talked to many of my out of state clients. Do you have a cleaner for me?
hmm.
Nope. Ours are in house, but we have a lot of different cleaners, and we're very used to that. So I've found many times that people trying to self manage, the hardest part for them is one of the easiest parts for us. I'm very proud to say that. And if you're going to run a short term or a medium term rental, you have got to have a killer cleaning team. And we've worked really hard. Not only do we have the right team, we have the right systems for our team. And I've had that feedback many times when I'm talking to our vendors. They're always like, oh, I love your system so much. I know where I need to be, how to get in, what the inventory needs to be, what the checklist is. So, Chandler, talk about our efficiencies with our cleaning team.
Yeah, so like we communicate with our cleaning teams about every day, and now they just kind of know they go and check when they need to clean, and they get in there, and then we have a quality control person come in right after they clean, and they check the entire property for inventory. Like kind of like the most things you'll see is like towels are always getting pretty beat up, and um, just like little things that are missing here and there that go a long way. Like if someone checks in and there's only 2 towels for 4 nights, like it's not a good look. So it's good to have somebody go through there and get all that done. And one thing I want to say is like if you're managing yourself and you're out of state, like it's tough to get like cleaners don't want to do all that for you. They don't want to replace towels. They don't want to go and buy spoons for you. They don't want to be doing all this stuff for you. Um, so like getting stuff replaced is a big deal, and getting stuff fixed is also a big deal for us because we can get some things. Most quality control checks, like our people will kind of most things to get fixed is just like a little screw in, and where you're probably going to have to pay somebody $75 just to go re-screw a knob on the door when like we normally just do that ourselves and we don't charge them at all. So that's another thing that you got to kind of think of is inventory and kind of keeping up with it. It can be a lot.
Absolutely. We do a lot of running around and doing errands, but because we're doing 14 houses at the same time, it's okay. Repairs and finding vendors, again, can be very difficult for one guy with one house, but we're one company with a lot of houses. We're able to do a lot of efficiencies. I'm very proud that we do negotiate really great deals for our owners. And as long as the owner is in the family, we give them discounted services. And one of the biggest deals that we just inked with was with an HVAC company. And I'm really proud of that. Like to have that level of discount, I've never seen before. And I found a guy that was just he's been in business for a long time, but he's really trying to build his maintenance side of his AC company. And I'm just really proud of that. Like that's another way we earn our value is that you're going to save money with the vendors. They're not going to overcharge you because we're watching them. You're probably going to get discounted services with your regular people, like your air conditioner people, pest control, lawn care. We have companies that we're a very, very big fish with, and we've negotiated lower rates because we're giving them high volumes. So you as the owner are going to save money over here while spending money over here, but it also equals less time out of your pocket. We're handling all of it. You're doing none of it. And
Yeah.
that is a huge savings on time and expenses.
Yeah. You see all those things you just listed, like that's a lot to keep up with.
A
And
lot.
so that's such a good point when you say discounts. We do get a ton of discounts. The
Yeah.
reason why is because when I talk to these people, they're like, "Oh, we know you're going to give us a ton more work, so we want to discount you and work with you." To where like if you're just like a one-time thing, they're going to want to charge you the most as possible. So that's a good point to bring up is we do get everything, just about everything discounted very well because they know we're going to bring them a ton of work.
The other thing too is that where owners will lose money all day, and I see it all the time, is on repairs. When you have a guest inside a home, especially a short-term rental, and something breaks, if you can't repair it right away, they're going to want money back. And I'm not talking $5, I'm talking $200 to $500. We don't do that. If we can get it repaired within a couple of hours, we don't refund. We apologize. We didn't know the fridge was going to go out, but we got it fixed ASAP. Have a nice day. Maybe we get them a coffee or, something like that. But you as the owner, again, that's hundreds of dollars that the owner saves because we did not refund the guest.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't realize how fast a company our size can get vendors in because we take care of them, but the expectation is they're going to take care of us. And
Hmm.
I promise you guys, when a vendor does not take care of us, they get let go very quickly. We're going to find someone else that'll do a better job. That's a
Yeah.
huge part of your job, Chandler.
Yeah. Not to be mean or anything, they're not getting it done quickly. I got to move on to the next one. I'm sorry about it. I love you, but I got to get things done quick, and I'm not afraid to let somebody go and find somebody new. So and we've done that.
Many times. Yeah, I asked about a handyman a couple weeks ago and they said, oh, no, no, he's way down on the list now. He wasn't responding. Now we use so and so. Okay. Care. You know what I did about that? Nothing. That's someone else's job. I'm like, whatever, get whoever you want in there. But you as the owner, saving time, saving money, and saving on refunds. That is
Mm.
humongous. I can't even stress
Speed. I mean, speed is such a big thing in
the
short
big
term.
thing.
It's like, I mean, it's huge. So,
Speaking of speed, Chandler, let's talk guest communication. You have a W-2. Your short-term rental guest reaches out. How long does it take you to respond? It could be immediate. It could be 6 hours. How quick is our response time, Chandler?
oh, we play a game of under 30 seconds
Under 30
or
seconds.
over 30. So, yeah, we're lucky enough to have a very fast response time.
Yes.
So, our team is awesome with that.
We have a great customer service team. We actually have two employees that answer the phones during business hours. We've gotten big enough to where it was too much for one. We have two on the weekends, and at night we just have one person. We always have someone to answer the phone. And that person answering the phone is never an owner, ever. It's us. We really don't reach out to the owner unless there's a major issue with the property. And they can enjoy their life. They can go buy more real estate. They can do whatever they want. We've got it. And that's a huge value is that customer service,
Yeah.
between the guest or the tenant.
Because let's say you are that W-2 person and you do have, like, let's say someone messages about the property. Most of the time, those people are looking at different properties, like while they're messaging you about your property. And like if you respond like really nicely and like get like right away, that keeps you like honestly, I think it's like 80%
Yeah.
almost always gets that booking because you responded first. So like responding first is like a big deal because you are most likely going to get that booking because they're like, oh, okay, they responded first. I'm going to pay attention to them to where if it takes a couple hours to respond, they're already booked. They booked somewhere else. Sorry. And so I think that's very important.
Well, and that tells the guest what their experience is going to be like. I've tried to book houses before and I couldn't get a response at all from the owner. I literally have had that happen. And it's just like, wow, thanks, and it happens every day and not here. Like, I'm very proud to say that. Like, we are going to try to get back to them under 30 seconds. They know we're on it, we're all over it. Our highest ratings have been on communication. We're really
Yeah.
proud of that.
And one thing that like it's not a good feeling, like because like managing short-term rentals is 24/7. Like that's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's 24/7. And like let's say like it's Memorial Day weekend and you just want to go on the boat and just hang out and having to have that thought in the back of your head, oh, somebody could be messaging me is not a good feeling. And it's not like you can just have your phone on you at all times while out on the boat or in the water or whatever. So that's like another thing. It's like it kind of just frees up space, and not you don't have to feel like you have to sit there and wait for a message all day. You can kind of just let us handle it.
My best friend in the world, she lives in Tennessee. She has 7 short-term rentals. She does very well, but she's self-managing and all the things, just like what you're saying, Chandler. And whenever she goes out of town, she said everything bad happens when I'm out of
Yep.
town. She said it never fails. And she has a team that she can call. Her dad is actually one of her handymen, but it's still
Yeah.
a nightmare. She has told me every time she goes out of town, well, only 3 things happened this time when I was on vacation. And several times, like you said, she would be out of the country maybe, and she couldn't have her phone. She's had to beg a favor of a cleaning person or someone else, like, please, can you answer my phone? Please, can you handle these calls? And, she's like, I'm so tired of begging favors of people. And that's what you're going to have to do. If you are going to be out of pocket, someone has to be available. If
Mhm.
not, you're going to lose money. And, was just in California and she was telling me she had one guest check in a day early, which we don't send check in info until 2 hours before the check in, but whatever. One guest checked in a day early, and then the guest that was supposed to be there showed up, and there was a lady in the apartment. And all this is going down at one of her units, and she's in California trying to enjoy time with her family. And she was so mad about it. She's like, why does all this stuff happen when I'm on vacation?
Yeah.
Our owners don't say that. We have owners that live here in Savannah. We have many owners that live here in Savannah, but we also have many owners that are out of state. And we're very proud to provide the same very high level of service to all of them. Long-term rentals, medium-term rentals, short-term rentals. We do it all here at Sid was here, and we have just really great systems and people on board to help with that. We're just really proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super proud of it. And if you want to join Sid Was Here, please just go to sidwashere.com and contact us. Let us know what questions you have, and we would be happy to help.
Absolutely.